All right, so let's get back into this. So we kind of left off with talking about a comment block on the last intro episode, and then we talked about these inline comments. So let's go a little bit further. I put the agenda up at the top, and I'm going to try to keep consistent with that if I can. But right now, we're going to talk about subclass versus superclass. So the superclass or the main class is whatever is like it's self declaration of that test of that class. So for this case, it's testing. That's also the name of our Java project. So if we wanted to, we can make a subclass. Now, a subclass, you can have multiple of them. They're going to be in reference to anything that you need from that superclass. So if you wanted to make testing2.java, you could also reference anything that's available in the subclasses in testing.java. So let's go ahead and just make a baseline example, and we'll kind of talk about each of the declarations in there. So public static void main string bracket square brackets args parentheses. So let's talk about this real quick. I don't need the comma there. Sorry. So public means that testing2, for example, because it's in the same project structure, is going to be able to reference this main section here. I believe so. I will double check and get back to you guys, but I'm pretty sure that that is the case. By making this public, you're able to reference it in testing2 or another Java class in this project package structure. So static implies that I don't want to change anything in here externally. So I don't want anything in, you know, public void number return, for example, you know, new var. I don't want to return, I don't want anything in this subclass to be able to modify anything in this subclass. Again, I'm not a Java expert. This is just me having taken a couple classes in Java, explaining to somebody who is going new into the field what they might be experiencing. So this will not get modified by anything externally. Now, void implies I don't want to return anything. At the end of this code, I can just be, done, quote unquote, and it won't have to output or spit out anything to the user if it didn't have any of that input in there manually. So that's what void means. Do not return anything. And then main is just the name of this subclass. So we're just naming it main, and it's going to be a reference that we're going to use. And the compiler also knows, hey, where's the main one? This is the one I'm interested in execution upon completion of this class. So it's always going to look for main first over other subclasses. Again, I believe so. I will need to double check, but it's a good way to think about it because this is how you want your brain to be oriented when you're doing Java. I could look into it a little more and back it up with hard facts, but it's just the way that you're supposed to interpret things going into it. This is how everyone's taught. So string implies that any number of strings can be used. This is an array structure. We'll talk about that a little later. And an argument is just any variables or other inputs that you would need are also welcome in as feedback or input into this. So the other things we're going to talk about are, so we've covered, creation of first class. We're going to talk about scanner variables. So if I wanted to create a scanner, the proper form is, which we'll talk about what a scanner is capital scanner and then the name of scanner that you prefer. And typically this is the format you do it, lowercase, uppercase for the next word, uppercase for the next word, and then equals new scanner, and then you need system.in. So what this is going to do, I think this is correct. Oh, I actually need to import scanner. So it let me know that I was missing something. So what this did is it added import java util.scanner up here, which allowed me, this is a library that exists in your resource library. It's saying I'm now able to create this variable name of scanner as a scanner, and it's a new scanner, and it registers anything that you input into the system as an external user. So for example, if you ever wanted to prompt anyone down here for input, you could do it with the system.in, which is established in a scanner variable. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. I'm still a little shaky on it as far as like the strict definition, but I understand how it works as far as for our purposes. And then furthermore, let's say you wanted to assign that variable. You know what? Actually, that might be a good explanation. We did talk about these two guys, but I want to keep these to like 5 minutes. So let's save this for the next, and we'll go on in the next video talking more about this. All right, thank you for watching.